the year 769, the Sorbian lands were steeped in a mix rich of traditions and growing tensions. Milyduch, the chief of the Sorbian people, was a formidable leader renowned for his unyielding spirit and deep devotion to his people. His realm, nestled in the heart of what is now eastern Germany, was a land of dense forest and winding rivers. The Sorbian tribes had lived in relative peace for many years, but this tranquility was about to be shattered by a relentless ambition. Milyduch's gaze was set southward, where the Wendish tribes had begun to exert pressure on the Sorbian territories. These tribes, known for their fierce warriors and strategic prowess, were encroaching upon the Sorbian borders. Milyduch, driven by both pride and desire to expand his influence, declared war against the Wendish forces. The Sorbian chief believed that a swift and decisive victory would secure his legacy and ensure the future prosperity of his people. The early battles were marked by fierce clashes and fleeting success. Milyduch's warriors fought bravely, their resolve bolstered by the confidence in their leader's strategic acumen. The Sorbian army pushed into Wendish territory, capturing several key strongholds. However, as the war dragged on, the Wendish tribes, adept at guerrilla tactics and resourceful in their defense, began to turn the tide. Milyduch's forces found themselves stretched thin, their supply lines compromised by relentless Wendish raids. The turning point came during the harsh winter of 771. The Wendish forces, having regrouped and fortified their position, launched a decisive counteroffensive. The Sorbian army, already weary and demoralized, faced a brutal onslaught. The battle was chaotic, with the ice wind cutting through the ranks and the cold sapping the strength of even the most stalwart warriors. Milyduch's leadership was tested to its limits, but despite his valiant efforts, the Sorbians were decisively defeated. With the fall of his army, Milyduch was forced to retreat to his homeland. The Sorbian lands were now vulnerable, and the Wendish tribes began to assert control over the captured territories. The once mighty chief returned to his people as a defeated man. His vision of glory shattered and his authority challenged. The Sorbian people, demoralized and facing the prospects of further incursions, looked to their leader for hope and direction, but Milyduch's spirit was broken. As the years passed, Milyduch's rule became increasingly troubled. His defeat had sown seeds of discord among his people, and his leadership was questioned by many. In addition to these external pressures, he faced turmoil within his household. His wife had grown increasingly discontent. The weight of Milyduch's failures and the constant strain of war had created a chasm between them. His wife was a woman of great ambition and resilience, and the prospect of a future under a weakened leader was unacceptable to her. The tension in Milyduch's household reached a boiling point. His wife, driven by both personal grievances and political calculations, began to plot against her husband. She conspired with others who sought to benefit from Milyduch's downfall. The poison was discreetly introduced to Milyduch's meals, a sub-fate gesture of betrayal. In the dark hours of a cold winter night, Milyduch succumbed to the effects of the poison. His death was a quiet affair, marked by the somber realization that his life and ambition had ended not with a grand battle, but with a treacherous act of domestic betrayal. His passing left a vacuum of leadership. The further destabilized Sorbian tribes now left to navigate the tumultuous waters without their chief. Having achieved her aims, his wife assumed a position of influence in the aftermath of Milyduch's death. Her actions, though successful in removing her husband, left a legacy of distrust and instability. The Sorbian people, already reeling from the war's consequences, now faced a future marred by internal strife and the heavy hand of Olandish dominance. The once proud Sorbian lands struggled to recover from the dual blows of defeat and betrayal. Milyduch's story, though marked by great ambition and eventual tragedy, became a cautionary tale against the Sorbian kingdom. It served as a reminder of the precarious balance between power and stability, and the harsh reality that even the greatest leaders could fall victim to both external threats and internal discord. As the years went by, the memory of Milyduch lived on, a symbol of both the heights in leaderships and the depths of personal betrayal.